we're doing most of the wheel wells in 1x1 furring strips. I got these for free from work. They were being thrown away, so I took a bunch of them home. They're pretty bent up. They're not in very good shape, but we're able to use them for what we need. Most of our cuts are fairly small, so it ended up working out. So what we're going to do is put a 3-foot long piece across the wheel well, and then we're going to run basically just a block around. We're putting on all the corners and on the edge we're putting vertical braces, and then we're going to run the box up on top as well. To sink these in, we are using the same screws we used before. They are 2 5/8 inch long. They are drywall screws, but they have a metal cutting bit which on the tip, which is perfect for what we're doing. They're very small, so they don't make a very big hole. They also are small and they won't split these 1x1s, which is also really important, which is why we use them also when we did the 2x2 furring strips. They've been working out really well for us so far. They're pretty sturdy and they cut through this metal, which is a huge plus. One thing we're going to be really careful about is making sure after we're done putting all these screws in, we go up underneath and we cut off all of the tips of all the screws. They do stick through and you can see them from the wheel well. Most of them are about 18 inches away from the tire, so I'm not worried about them hitting the tire, but I am worried about over time them rusting, falling off, maybe getting trapped underneath. So we're going to cut them off right at the end and leave just the threads that are going through the actual metal. So it shouldn't be a whole lot. We might grind them off. We might just use a metal blade on a sawzall. So once we get this on, we're going to spray foam with just cans. We didn't want to pay for the big kit because we had to drive really far to go get it, and we have the spray foam cans much closer. I am leaving a small gap in between the wood and the wheel well so that we can fit at least a 1/2 to 3/4 inch of the spray foam in between the wood and the wheel well. That way we can make sure every inch of it is insulated. I'm not too worried about the tight gaps because the spray foam stuff, you spray in with a long nozzle and it fills up and expands, so it should fill up all the gaps in there. And these will be underneath our couches. We're not too worried about structural integrity, which is why we're okay using the 1x1s. The structure of these, this box, once we get it foamed and we put plywood over it, it's only going to hold blankets and things like that. There's not going to be a whole lot of weight here. Our battery bank is going to be located here in front of them, and on top of this will be a little bit of electronics, but nothing heavy. Most of it will be wall mounted, but there might be some cords and things that we do put here. This couch is going to be our electrical box, so we're going to make sure we insulate this good, get it covered up and ready for that. We do have one wheel well that we will be walking over. That wheel well, instead of using these 1x1s, we're going to use 2x4s, and we're going to try to make it as structurally sound as possible. Once we get there, I'll go over how we did that one. I'm going to go ahead and walk through. Unfortunately, we had some camera issues, so I wasn't able to get the actual building process, but I'm going to tell you what I did. So this wheel well we will be walking on through our hallway very regularly. So I decided to build these out of 2x4s to give it a little bit better structure to the box. So what we did is ran a square around the box on 3 sides, and then from there I added short little 2x4s, 4 blocks. I added 2 on each side and then put another round again on top of it around all 3 sides. On the top, to make it flush, I added the 2x4 across. It is on this rounded portion, so I had to cut out a square for the wheel well to sink up into the 2x4 to make sure that it stayed flush. It took a whole lot of time, a whole lot of screws, but we got it done. Now we're going to insulate it, and then afterwards we will cover it up with plywood. So we'll get to that.